reactions you often get from him and the dramas that has been caused over the years in the scene. He's someone who will be very vocal about whatever it might be. It might not even be to do with the game, it might be to do with just how he's sitting or something like that, and he's going to vocalize that to the team, which can just really bring down the morale. Now, it makes it sounds really negative from the start. That's not the case. He's also equally got that power to really lift the team spirits and make them feel united in that kind of regard. So depending on how Strengths is feeling, I'm guessing better rather than worse considering his successful qualification yesterday.
That is true.
Should be very good for Alliance. And also Myztro, a bit of an emotional team as well, but it's more, it leaks through the players a little, just because if Vu gets a bit frustrated, and you might start seeing Hypno getting a little bit frustrated, and maybe it'll spread to Hell or something like that. And it's really going to be down to Myztro to keep that sort of team composure together and to see the success that they're hoping for.
Well, we did get a chance to talk to the guys from Myztro, particularly Garpy and Vu, because unfortunately, like you heard on the desk, they did not qualify for the duel yesterday. And I believe the general response we got from them was that's in the past, they're only looking ahead. They're only looking towards the future now of what's coming up today. And with them being emotional players, like you say, in the team in general, you cannot let what happened yesterday really affect you, especially at such a crucial time.
Yeah, and we noticed, we saw some of the pictures after the games, and Garpy looked really disappointed. We see Red Eye, I mean, giving Garpy a hug at the same time. It means a lot to the players. And I know they were feeling actually fairly deflated after Vu lost to Cooler in the final game. They really had to collect themselves and make sure, all right guys, we're going to let's get some practice in now before the morning and make sure we can get our sacrifice game on point. Because it was honestly, it was very close to being like, let's just chill out for the night instead. But I'm very glad for them that they came to the practice and actually started looking stronger and stronger in the games that they were playing all the way up until this morning. So very excited to see what we're going to be able to see from it. And it looks like we're going to be getting this game underway.
All right, let's kick things off. As Alliance going to be on the red side here, Myztro on the blue. Get underway with our first round of games on Sacrifice. Say off the bat here, Syndrome going to be running the Anarchy. Taking a hell of a lot of damage, not able to pick up really any guns just yet, but that Soul's going to be spawning any second out. Switching out to the Gauntlet too, looking for Garpy. Initial control, going over to Myztro here, I'd say.
I love that Garpy, he's actually rocking the Soul as well. He's managed to pick it up, he's used the shield defensively, he's got teammates right next to him at the same point, and it should be fairly easy for them to get to Obelisk A, and they've done it. The whole team united together. That's a good start, but it's now, what is the follow-up?
You can already see he's looking to push it up here as Bus Driver is able to secure that kill onto him, allowing them to have a man advantage as they push onto the point here. Bus Driver again on the sword, like doing some decent damage. The Aspid's going to come through, but not really land at the right direction. In the meantime, Myztro still putting up this percent, still picking up these kills. Garpy going off here on the clutch as he got the respawn back in. Another kill for this man, that was 3, and I think he's looking for some redemption, finally being taken down by Bus Driver.
That's actually very, very good coordination from them. There were so many of them at the top parts of the map. Syndrome's just managed to take the Soul himself. He's so tremendously weak, but he's going to try and run it back to the base. Are there any players in the way? Not at all. Looks like it's home clear. Just people behind him doing small amounts of chip damage. But there's no teammates at all next to him. This should be fairly easy for Vu to get the Soul back and bring it, return it to the base.
Yeah, Vu's got it. He's got teammates in front of him to protect him too, but instead of going the direction they are, maybe trying to throw them off by going a different avenue back in. Picks up the Mega on his way here. Yeah, really well timed with that rocket jump. And Daily should be bringing it back in a few seconds, but there's still going to be a little bit of contention. You see the Anarchy off towards the left-hand side. Syndrome, Bus Driver all picking up these kills, and this Soul's going to immediately be taken. But will they escape it? Hell comes through with the Gauntlet kill to the face. Looking for the follow-up. Hypno's going to be there, and that Soul's going back to Myztro.
Now, what's looking amazing for Myztro at the moment is the coordination, the communication we're getting from them, and for Vu to get back to that base to begin with and picking the only route that didn't have any Alliance players in it. If they can continue that cooperation, that looks good. And we have actually got the shield that was used to try and get the power up, but it is actually going to be Strength who gets protection.
So what is he looking to do here? Is he looking for some kills? Is he looking to pick up a couple of frags on people running away? Is he looking back to pick up the Soul?
He definitely wants to run the Soul at the moment, but they're doing a lot of damage actually, even with protection where you take 4 times reduced damage. That he's still in the base, he's on the Obelisk, and he's got the Soul, but he didn't go anywhere. I don't know why he did just try and move instead of fighting.
Either way, that's what's going to be happening here. And they do pick up the Soul, though. In the meantime, they do throw this one off as well. Giving it over to Sparty, who's just taken away in damage down to 27 HP. Really heal back up, but he realizes he's been caught. The Soul's been thrown off. Garpy immediately on retrieval, pretty much channel his inner golden retriever here to pick up that and look to run away yet again here to get back towards this obelisk.
Just a small detail on that, the acid spit from Sorg would have been ticking, so they would have had perfect knowledge of exactly where he is, because you can see the damage that's being dealt to him. So Sorg would have been critical for him to just communicate to his team exactly where Syndrome was moving.
I'm definitely digging the way that Myztro's going about this too. They know who to throw the soul to at the right time, but more importantly, they're running like some feint attacks, sending 2 people off, and they do have the soul to get it back, to distract, to allow him to get there. They know the respawns are going to be quick enough. The attack is coming back in towards A. Alliance is looking for the retake, only at 4%, and Myztro's up to 71.
It's building up and it's building up, and they've managed to get it. They've had a successful attack, but it's whether or not Syndrome can get out of it. Beautiful frag on Dewey. He's turned around and looked away from the explosion like an absolute boss. Now, can he make it all the way back and increase on that 4%? It looks like it. Garpy there with the clutch. He's got on it with the shield, but they're going to try and get behind him to do damage. He manages to pick up the soul, and his job is, he doesn't even have to get frags. It's just get the soul and throw it.
Really well played by him to use that active just to make sure to secure the soul and bring it back to Myztro yet again. 75% and taking Alliance are not looking strong here. We talked about the emotions of teams and how they can affect. I imagine in the camp of Myztro, they're going crazy. They're screaming things up. Looks like we're going to have the item spawn back in again. It's going to be quad this time, and it's going to be in the hands of Strengths.
There wasn't a single Myztro player there, but they've got so much percentage. They're going to be hoping to just go all in on the defense, and second by second, things are improving from them. If this was a protection, it might have been actually a little bit harder for them to defend. Strengths can't really get in because they're all in the upper levels.
He's gotten really no damage, but finally able to get a frag out of hell here, but 97% built up. They have to make something happen right now, and that's going to be Garpy killing Strengths. The quad is now down, but the quad doesn't matter. What matters is that the soul's at 99%. And it looks like it's finally been taken away, but where's it going to go from here? You can see Bus Driver trying to pick this one back up, trying to run it back towards his teammates. Sparty even the one to pick it up and secure it. Throws it back towards the obelisk, but it's been taken away. Boo! He's grabbed it. He's heading back to his own obelisk here, looking to close out this game.
Isn't going to have to do it, though. There's still a lot of players to deal with, and at that point, I might have even waited just to clear out the enemy team first. It's just Sorlag, Bus Driver hiding there. They've got it on the point. Is that going to be the first round to them? It is. And there's going to be some relief. We've definitely got some Myztro supporters here, and they're going to be vocal about their success.
I like what they did there, actually. So instead of contesting the item, which ended up being the quad spawning, they realized, yeah, we're at like 80%, right? It's going to take them another 5–10% to actually get to us. Then they have to battle us on the point, and then look to hopefully grab it and escape. Where they know as, you know, we can force them into this awkward situation of, even if we get to the 90% and they take it away, it means they're going to have a really scrappy defense, or the potential to retake is going to be really low.
Yeah, and actually Strengths, when he had the quad, he was fairly indecisive exactly what he was going to be able to do with the quad. He wasn't really happy to push in, and then Garpy just turned up and everything was over. That was when the round essentially ended for them. Now, I think I heard that there's a couple of issues that were for Vu there, so we will move away for just the time being. But again,
there's some sound problems in there. You obviously need sound quite a bit.
That's it's helpful, especially for Anarchy, when you're going to be dodging and ducking everywhere you can to try and get out. I just want to sort of firmly establish that I'm proud of the Myztro guys at the moment. Obviously, I'm trying to be not biased at all. Trying my very best not to be biased.
You got your Myztro underwear on your pants today.
But there's something they have actually struggled with, is making sure that everyone's communicating, because Hypno is actually, even though he's done a lot of team games, he's also a UT champion, very focused on the duel mind, and it can be very, I don't know, difficult. It sounds a bit patronizing, but he really has to push himself to be vocal, to have those team comms going out and telling the information to his teammates. And you can sometimes see that coming out with some of the others as well, who have got that dual pedigree.
So you're speaking of the dual pedigree, and since you're so close to Myztro, I guess we can talk about them in particular. How hard is it to change your mindset of TDM, 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 duel to, okay, I need to play around a team. I need to not pick up, you know, this weapon when I'm already fully stacked because a teammate might need it, etc. Like, how hard is it to make that transition mentally?
It does take a bit of practice, and it takes a bit more presence of mind in order to be able to work with the teammate. But then that comes down to the communication. If you're talking about what you need and what's going on, sometimes if you're not getting the items you want and you feel like there should be more sharing, then it's probably your fault for not actually communicating that to the team. So you've really got to be vocal about that and ensure that the talks before and after the game, you're able to strategize. At the end of the day, if you're playing a team game, you're not going to get better by just playing. There has to be that moment where you're analyzing and strategizing what you should be doing in the game as well. So
also, you know, the fact that since a lot of these players come from duel and duel only, there's a little bit of selfishness, I think, that comes into it. You want to be the star player of your team, right? You want to be the one that stands out, that has all the frags. But going into a team game, like transitioning that whole aspect, that whole way of thinking is really difficult. And I think we've seen that sometimes of, I'm at 2-17 and my teammates at 18-5. Like, I want to step up. I don't want to be bottom of the scoreboard, But what people don't realize, and maybe what they don't realize, is people know that yes, because you're 2-17 or whatever, it doesn't mean you're not doing your job and you're not doing it well.
Oh, exactly.
You have to sometimes be that guy who's not fragging, but because you're doing other roles.
No, indeed, and in Quake Live, CTF, for instance, you'd have the offensive role, and you would be the one who didn't have items to work with. You'd have minimal weapons to work with. Your job was to get in, get the flag, and get out, essentially. So you could see some of the best offensive players in the world getting, awful negative kill-death ratios. Right. And you look at that and go, oh, that's terrible. Why is he like that? But it's not. He's doing an amazing job, and things that people who might think otherwise, maybe, the online egos that you get, say, oh, I'm getting every single frag, but you're not playing your role correctly. So it's, honestly, it's not all about the frags, and I think that takes it. It's difficult for Quake, that to sink in with Quakers sometimes, because obviously you want to be getting all of them, but it's, again, role aspect.
Exactly. Well, we'll be getting back in here in just a second, guys. We will be resuming at 1-0 for Myztro so far on our first map of this best of 3. We're going to see how things will be kicking off now. Looks like Vu be tagging along with him in the beginning to get things going. We talked about as well, the emotions one more time to bring it up. I wonder, Alliance, how many maybe map losses or mess ups or errors will cause them to start to get down on themselves.
And I feel like they're a team that need to get off to a good start, because otherwise it might become worse and worse for them. And also got to note that they've got 2 people who've got very little LAN experience playing with them. So this stage, playing for such an enormous tournament, the Quake World Championship, you've really got to get your A game out.
I like how they're already turning things around. I was going to say they picked up the 2 frags of the round, but Vu and Bus are able to respond back into this one. Sparty, again, a man who's tried to qualify in duel in the weeklies and unfortunately was unable to. This is his chance to really show what he's got here for the world and show that he's still a highly skilled player. We know he is, but to show everyone else that he's still a very, very highly skilled player and deserves to be at QuakeCon.
Definitely. And Syndrome getting a good early start, managing to run the soul back to the Obelisk A. But now we're getting the attack. Vu coming in, and what a little jukey play there. And he's looking at their health. I don't know if he was pointing out to a teammate or just pointing out to himself, but he gets back on a very, very clean run to start off the percentage point in their Obelisk.
He needs this kill on Syndrome, though. Strength is going to come in to support Alliance to take this soul back yet again. Being contested, looks like he'll be able to secure it in a few seconds and just tosses it off potentially to a teammate, but again, Garby jumping back in with the clutch, looking for the return. There just keeps being daisy-chained here across the players of Alliance.
And they're passing it back and forth up this little walkway. Strength has now got it, but he is so weak. Syndrome, not much tougher at all, and there's actually a lot of Myztro players right in front of them. I like that little pass, that was nice, but the information's already been passed across.
They don't have a lot of health to work with too, because they're taking so much chip damage actually getting to this point, which would allow Myztro some very easy kills. 2 frags, now 3 going their way, and it looks like the soul
they're delaying it to the power up. I think they might be delaying it to that power up. Sorry to interrupt you right there.
Oh, good.
But, there's a stack that has actually been collected by Sparty at the same time. So 150 compared to what he had before. It's a big difference. Oh, and I think Strength did manage to get the telefrag just then. And he's even going to be able to result in him getting the protection, so eventually they bring it back. And that was a lot of patience demonstrated by Alliance to get themselves back on the point.
So now with the protection, we're going to see what Strength is going to do. Maybe just try to go for the defense or maybe try to get aggressive. But either way, he's going to be doing a hell of a lot of damage here with the rocket launcher. Again here, 2 more people to find. They have the soul, and he gets sped away here. Vu, great job using that injection, get that extra speed he needs to get around this map as quick as possible and return the soul back towards his own Obelisk.
That's actually going to be quite disappointing for Alliance, because they had the protection, they had all the ingredients they needed to create a strong defense, but it somehow snuck through, and Myztro have been able to increase their percentage a little bit. And this keeps holding on. Vu's now picked up a mega health. Sure, that's only limited effect to an Anarchy, but every little counts.
Keep in mind, this was a map chosen by Alliance too, and maybe Alliance are just feeling more confident when it comes to defending that A Obelisk, because on the first round of this match, it wasn't even close at all. Currently, Soul still being held onto by Syndrome.
Wow, what's that nail gun work?
I mean, the thing is, like, Garby, this is a redemption for him, right? Because he got so close yesterday and just failed at the last round and was so down on himself. He had such a long series, too. He was exhausted. And this is a chance, again, to show everyone that he deserves to be there at QuakeCon. And
it's business time.
Exactly.
And he's been doing really well as the team's clutch player. And one thing you want to remember with clutch is, like a lot of the champions, I guess, you want to be so careful when you're actually using that ability. It doesn't matter if you die sometimes, like, he's actually going to be using it defensively. He's expecting a coordinated attack, which is why he did that. And doing some initial damage, there to Bus Driver. See what Bus Driver can do.
I like how Bus Driver just backed away. He's like, all right, you have your shield up. I'm just going to wait for it to actually go down and then kill you. Vu gets a nice little kill there. Power-up's going to be coming up in 10 seconds. Let's see what's going to be protection or quad. In the meantime, Vu is looking to transition around the map, pick up some HP as well. Is he going for the contention? I thought maybe he's going to go for...
He's going for the power-up up here. Wow, just chaos ensues. Looking over there at the teleporter exit. And that was Strength. Again, been very good at grabbing the power-up. But what I don't think he's been as good at is actually playing the objectives as well afterwards. He needs to make sure he focuses on the right thing here, and he is going in for the jugular, getting involved, getting messy, and trying to get that soul out of here.
Force uses that Ghost Walk here. Does have the lightning gun, but he's sticking to the rail for the most part. No, it's still going to be sitting on the obelisk.
Have they not got it?
No, they've not picked it up, and with this protection yet again here, Alliance has failed to really do anything. But again, as you pointed out, you know, Strengths, second time able to pick the power up.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of people miss those jumps, but Nyx could just hop up there with the wall jump ability.
Well, another thing he did is he used the Ghost Walk while he had the power up, and you can't get the soul while you're in Ghost Walk.
Right.
And he didn't even need to really do it. He had help, he had protection. He should have just gone in, you know, standardly. Syndrome getting a frag with 1 health to go. They have cleared out the Myztro guys and are starting to pick up their percentage a bit, but they've got a fair way to catch up before they reach the 74 of Myztro.
Yeah, they have a long time, but this is a chance to make that happen here with some good frags out of Syndrome there, getting around the map quickly. Might be able to lock this one down for a little bit more time. Again, Garp is looking for the pickup. He's got the shield popped yet again. The attack from the backside going to drop this one off towards the low-hand side, but the problem is there's no one there. There's no teammates to protect him. And again, Strength uses this Ghost Walk. But I don't know if Vu can escape this one. Just toss it off again towards the teammate. And frag after frag after frag. It looks like Sparty will be the one. No, it's not even going to be him with the soul to escape. Bus Driver again tosses up towards the Mega. And they're looking for these frags. They're looking to hold them off. But again, Myztro is still picking up these kills.
Strength is doing making some very questionable decisions at the moment. He's using the Ghost Walk at the wrong times in order to do so. I can maybe see what he's trying to achieve, but it's not working out maybe the way it would in Duel. And we've just had their Hell using that Plasma Trail.
86%, and the item is up in 5 seconds. So now if you're Alliance, you cannot afford to go for that. You have to fight over the soul. You have to secure it because you're going to be missing out on too much time. It's going to be protection, but there's no one there Alliance to pick it up. Finally, it looks like Strengths again is going to go for it. But now this is coming down to crucial time here. Myztro already up 1-0 in the series, or 1-0 on this map in rounds. And 98% already built up here on the soul. This is dangerous.
Making 99 even. And Strength has a last chance to lose. He's had, again, power up play, been very good at getting it. Not so good at following up, but this time he's got a chance to actually make a run with it. Even picks up the Mega on his way out. I think that's absolutely great. Going up against the pummel a bit and it's slowing him down. He needs to forget about fighting and just get over to the objective. And there's not even long left on the protection. He might even die very soon. He's only just got it back in those full 30 seconds. And now we have the attack immediately from Myztro.
Oh no, Vu, his direction he was going to go was cut off. He drops the soul off to pick up that injection. And he's still going to get around the map here, showing the mastery of Anarchy. He's going to at least be able to maintain the soul for a little bit of time, waiting for his teammates to clean up these kills so he can, in fact, get this down onto B. And they only need 1% to close this out. We're going to need to sequence some contention right away at Alliance to prevent this one.
He's so far ahead of them. Is this enough time? They're going to try and jump on the point. Are they going to be able to make it? The defense is amazing from Vu at the moment. Still on that 99%. They keep on running at them. And Sparty's gotten 3 frags so far. Life-saving work for the team. And there's 2 of them on point.
They've done it. Off the back of Sparty, able to somehow hold them off here. The soul's going to be picked back up. Now Syndrome looking for the return. He's got a lot of frags to find on his way there. The team is ever around him. The Aspid's going to come through. Hypno's going to take him down. But Strength is the one with the soul. Looking to return it back towards A. Does use, again, the wall jump to get up on the high ground. And you can already see the defense is going to be there.
He's weak and he hasn't got a Ghost Walk at all that he can use defensively. Injection going to be used. Vu going to take him down. And now Hell, he is going to be slipping and sliding with that crouch movement. That was actually some decent rockets just then. I believe that was Syndrome working on them. Hell isn't quite able to kill him. And Syndrome, very important frags then.
He's got the HP to work with here, but he's got 3 men in front of him, but he's got some teammates to make this one happen. It's going to be a little bit of a 3-on-3 skirmish as he's instead going to go, you know what, I'm going to head towards the obelisk. There's no point to fight this one out. Let's build up some percent as we're going to hit that 50 mark. But again, the pressure is on Alliance here. This is so dangerous. The quad has spawned in, and Vu is finally going to be the one to be able to pick up a item for his team on Myztro.
I don't know how Syndrome managed to do the work that he did beforehand. It just seems like his stack would never end at that point. But yeah, as you say, we've got the power up now. Hypno looking to cause some damage here with this Solag. Syndrome though, he's still running around with the soul himself. But where is that soul? We've killed everyone on your team, but we cannot find the soul carrier. And Syndrome just ninjaing around. And he's just wasting time at the moment while the power-up is ticking out. And it's gone now.
Again, dropping the soul, using the injection. Great little kill there onto Hell. And still getting around this map so fast, trying to make its way back towards Abe. There's more members of Myztro there than his own team. Still big battles happening as Sparty and Strengths again do chime in to clean this one up. Looks like the soul will make its way through here on towards the Obelisk. But the question is, will they be able to maintain it? Hell gets himself a double kill before Strengths is able to finally return that one. And Strengths, on the last man on the point, is able to defend decently well.
Who picked up that soul just then? I think it was a Vu for a moment, but Sparty, he's returning far nicely, and they've held off for a moment. They've now actually built up the percent on their Obelisk. It's over 70. This is decent, and it's so close for Myztro. If they don't manage to win this round, that is definitely going to cause some stresses. 2 frags go in favor of Myztro.
Oh, that's 4.
Whole team is gone.
All right, so now can they get this across the map in time? They're obviously going to have another fight against Alliance on towards that Obelisk. But if they win that fight, they win the map. And they're up 1-0 in the series here. Vu does get sniped out of the air with the rail out of Strength.
It's a questionable rocket jump, in my opinion, from Vu. He wants to go flat across the ground more than he wants to go in the air. He'll be much less vulnerable and pick up more speed. Here comes the attack once again. There's 3 of the Myztro players, and we had Garpy there who had the clutch. Now Sorlag trying to do some work. I think he got a acid spit frag. He's going to run into the other Sorlag. Only 19 health remaining, and Bus Driver, he's going to get it.
Great position out of Bus Driver there to cut him off too. The power coming through. It's going to be protection again. It's going to be over onto Hell this time on the slash.
That's pretty big, actually. And now what they're going to do, once they've got the soul, they haven't put it on the point. They're going to wait for that power up to run out. And what Myztro are going to desperately look, they're going to want to find him, and they have. They've located him, and they need to make sure they do not lose track of that soul carrier. Hell, at the moment, this is his objective.
He's on the chase, but he's just not hitting the kills. He's not doing the damage. Bus Driver's been able to escape with the help of being shot from behind in particular, and also using those rockets to give him some extra speed to get across this map. And he's been able to do just that. Yes, it hasn't been capped. It hasn't been brought to the Obelisk, but like you said, protection's not going to be gone.
That's really impressive play by not just Bus Driver, but the whole Alliance team as well. Look at that. All of the Myztro players, bar 1, just like, nope, make that all of them, all 4. And there's on 92, 93%. There's one last attack from Hell to make this happen.
Well, let's see if it's going to be able to work here. 97%. They need to contest this Obelisk as soon as they possibly can. 99, finally, it's going to be contested here. But the kills are all going to matter. 99 to 99. Looks like Hypno's able to get that first frag. That's going to be Garpy falling as well. Syndrome and Sparty.
They've done it. I think they've done it. They've managed to get onto it, and they've managed to tie up the rounds. Unbelievable. Myztro were on 99% for what felt like forever.
It was forever. It was 99 to like 20%. Alliance were down a good 70% there, and yet they're able to hold that off because of some great individual play. Garpy, I have to give him credit, though. He did fantastic on the clutch throughout that entire round, but I think Strengths and Sparty really came alive towards the later half of the round.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to note, guys, it is actually 1-1 for both of the teams because we had a slight technical restart. And it's now whoever wins this round will take map number 1.
Correct. Looks like Vu and Hypno up to the initial frags here. Garpy, I don't know why he was staying in that. He took so much damage, and Sparty was able to get a big kill onto him. Able to follow up with the second as well.
The frag there, Strengths, is he going to be able to survive? Not a chance, but now Bus Driver's got it. He's doing some good rocket damage. Doesn't in the end get the kill, but he's done an immense job. Now Sparty looking to return, he hasn't done it. Now Vu, he's going to get himself on the point, just about sawing out his jump, and his teammates are behind him to protect him.
Curious if B was the desired Obelisk for him, or if it was just kind of well, that's the closest one I'm to, and we need to start building some progress.
I think this is an Obelisk he'd be very happy to defend. You've got those outer walls, you've got a higher ground that you can use when the enemies come into base. There's definitely room to work with here.
They got room to work with, but they don't have the men to work with. They lost all 4, and so just going to look to pick up Soul in a few seconds, maybe even toss it off over to another teammate here. As it looks like it's going to be over towards Strengths on the Nyx again. Strengths had some questionable plays sometimes with his Ghost Walks or lack of using Ghost Walks. Meantime, throws it over to Garpy, and Garpy now is forced to use that shield with no HP left remaining. That's a big cooldown now gone.
Yeah, that's actually going to be a horrible pain for him. He's going to need to find some hourglass to reduce that cooldown as fast as possible. And it looks like Bus Driver is slowly going to bring it back. But they did it. The Soul's on the edge. Hell's going to have to throw it away. Bus Driver would have wanted to move a little faster. Hell dies, and Vu, he returns into force. Get out of here.
That's not where he wanted to go. Immediately going to be dropped down into the pit again and looking to escape here. Still not really taking too much harass towards his direction in the meantime.
One person in the way. He can't quite snipe him off the rail, and he might back off a little bit. We're seeing some much slower rounds at the moment. And I like it. This is a strategic level to the game that we're seeing, and the power up has been taken. Is that Strengths that took it?
Yeah, Strengths picking it up again here on the Knicks. Really coming alive for his team in terms of picking those up time and time again.
Constantly he's getting the power ups, and he's going to have to go in for the attack as well. Vu does return, but they need to hold off this quad damage. Great rail, excellent shots. Garpy holding on.
That's scary. A clutch with the shield, with rockets, and a quad. Like that's gonna be so hard to deal with here, and maybe Garpy will pick up a kill or two. But they have the obelisk, they have the soul there, they have a percent building up, and you can see that the Lions are immediately respecting this. So not really trying to commit to it just yet. Looking for a couple, maybe overextensions out of Myztro, which they've been able to pick off Vu and maybe Hypno in a second, and then push in, then take that soul away, and finally get some percent on the board.
Not bad for him, but he still doesn't have his shield up, so he could go down soon. When he respawns, the shield should return. But again, he's going to need that weaponry, need that rocket launcher to really get the full effect. Hell, good defense, using that plasma trail to just create that circle of damage around their obelisk.
Love the nail gun. The amount of damage he did there was allowing Garpy to secure the kill. They're still building this percent here. We've not seen the soul picked off in quite a long time. Myztro up to 55%, and just as I say that, looks like Syndrome's been able to secure it, looking to escape with help with Bus Driver off towards the side. See this two-man squad pushing back across the lines.
Can they get it back in? There are some opponents there who are looking to defend, but they are going to have Alliance getting their first percentages on their obelisk. But immediately the attack from Myztro. They dropped that second round, but they do not want to drop this third one. He's going to go down, but he's got a teammate. I think it's Hell looking to slide down, but he's just walking into the chaos. Chose not to return and find a better path.
Tried to slide into those DMs, but only slid into his own death. And then Syndrome again, not able to hit these shots. The LG is going to be a little bit too strong at a Vu. Don't worry, I know it's a pretty bad joke. Anyway, Bus Driver does get the kill, though. I believe Bus Driver, well, he did fall. I was imagining him to pick up that soul and run it.
I believe there was Hypno there that was running the soul. Wow.
Prince, he used the ghost block, sits on top of the item, on top of the power-up. Garpy jumps directly on top of him without realizing it, and then just gets telefragged.
Jesus. And where's that soul carrier over there? Bus Driver, he's got it. Is he going to try and hide from the power-up? Oh, he's just run into Garpy. He's got the clutch. He is going to put it back on the spot and try and get something for his efforts. But Hell, with the protection, he's going to go for an attack. He's actually got a decent amount of health and still a couple of seconds remaining. He's going to look to slide away. Oh, that wasn't the best rocket jump. That was a bit better.
I like the use of that too, realizing he's not going to take too much damage from himself. 11 HP, he's going to get the turnaround. He will die, but they'll be spawned in soon enough. Myztro have lost 3 people. I think Alliance is going to secure Soul in a few seconds. Yeah, just be tossing it back into the high ground to look for this escape. Garpy, though, looking to shut down Bus Driver. Looks like we might be having a little bit of lag on the server side, but we're good to go. Back into this one.
Yep, Soul return. Everything good. And Vu's actually, he's going to get it. He's throwing it away in case he's going to go down, and actually goes behind. Bus Driver still has a stack, and he's got the other Soul to deal with. Frags returning constantly, and Hell, look at the stack that he's got. He's taken a big armor, he's taken a mega health, and he's still got health to spare.
I thought we were on... I didn't realize we're not on duel. I thought it was for a second there.
You don't normally see a stack like that with a slash in sacrifice, but good job to Hell for controlling those items well.
73% and counting here for Myztro. This little push-in's going to come in. He gets pushed directly onto the point where there's 2 people on the high ground ready to fight him. They didn't pick up the kills, so Syndrome somehow stays alive. He has Bus Driver to help him out. He has the soul. He's going to toss it back up to his teammate over towards Bus Driver. He's looking to run this across the map again. Give it over to Sorlag, a little bit tankier. There's not that many people there to stop him anymore, too, especially when he has 3 teammates off to the sides.
That nail gun hurting a lot. And it's actually going to be strength with the Nyx. He's going to take it, but he's so weak. He manages to jump across and gets a soul onto the point. 80% to 20%. Power up. And they're barging each other out of the way, and I believe that's Hypno taking it in the end. Got to be careful a little bit on the coordination, and this is going to be a big attack.
Doesn't really have a lot of guns to work with here. Just the machine gun and the rocket launcher. Maybe would have been best to put it over to someone else. Maybe Garpy, who's been fragging like crazy. But there we go. Hypno showing he's got what it takes. He gets 2 kills.
Whoa.
Eventually going to fall, not giving Syndrome over to the squad. But the soul's still there. It's still in the obelisk. 80% to 38.
Huge defense.
Are Lions going to do this again? Are they going to turn this one around a second time?
I do not doubt that is a great possibility. Rocket return, though, onto Syndrome. He is tremendously weak. Vu will eventually take him down. Coordination will give you the best success right now. And there's another. It's gone up to 50%. It just seems so rapid that they're able to make things work. Syndrome trying to get back into the action. He's picked up actually a few weapons on his adventures.
a lot of damage there. Just again, wasn't able to solidify those kills. It seems like Alliance might be playing better together at this rate. As every time we do see a kill come through from Myztro, I feel like Alliance are immediately returning onto it with another teammate there. Sparty picks himself up a nice 3-4K. And now 66%. It's still going here. This is Alliance catching back up, and again, Myztro are struggling to take the soul back and get any sort of percent.
And Garpy's walking there. He's got no weapons, no shield, and things just aren't working for him. And Syndrome is just making a mess of all of this. A brilliant fragging power from him. And we're about to get tied up percentages. Myztro going to be feeling the pressure. They're trying to walk up this hallway, and nothing is happening. No one getting past Syndrome.
You don't have Garpy there, I think, to defend. You know, use that shield to help your teammates push a little bit further on. Maybe get towards that soul. Maybe get these kills. You need the man advantage. The bus driver is going off. Your Syndrome somehow still alive. And just as I say that, he does eventually fall to hell on the high ground. Sparty gets the telefrag onto hell.
Unbelievable. We've got over 90% at the moment for Alliance. Could this be happening once again for them? Hypno trying to get something done. I think that was Vu. Is he going to be able to slip across? He's made it. He's got to the other side of the map, and they're going to try and get what they can. But the power-up is up as well. I'm not sure who's taken the power-up. It is what? I don't know if anyone has.
Bus driver's got it. He's being juggled. He's got no HP left. It's still going to be committed, though. It looks like Sparty's been able to secure this one.
But look at the percentage of everything coming up again.
90% to 95. And Garpy with the quad. If he gets back to his obelisk, he can defend this so easily, but the kills are still coming through. Alliance,
that's what they're doing
they need the respawns back in. There's a big kill out of Strengths on the obelisk, but he gets returned on by Vu. And now at 97, I think they might have been able to do it here. That's going to be the soldier coming back in. And Smarty immediately gets dropped. The squad is going huge for Myztro. And I think they've been able to do it. They picked up map one.
Wow. That was bloody close right there. And that says 1-1, but that is actually a map victory, giving it 2-1 to Myztro in the end, just about slipping away. Amazing first map we just saw between Myztro Gaming and Alliance.
You know, maybe Alliance towards the end there would have been better off not going for the power-up and actually just going straight to the obelisk. Because when they did get the power-up, all they ended up doing was, here you go, Myztro, have a quad. Give it over to Garpy. Let him defend with an LG on the obelisk.
I think always with the hindsight, we're going to say some things could have done differently if they were able to... What I think was very smart of Myztro is they actually pressured the quad. They could quite easily, and what we've seen earlier in the tournament already, is people say, oh, well, we've only got a few percentage left. Let's just get it to the point quickly, put everyone there, and we'll fight whatever comes at us. I love the fact that they challenged the power-up, even though there's only one person in the base, and someone could have snuck in and maybe even clutched the soul away. It really made sure that after they secured the quad, they could control anything they wanted. That defense was impenetrable at that point and solidified the win.
I mean, yeah, he's a giant robot. He's got a shield, and he's got 4 times damage. I don't really see any way of getting past that one. But let's talk about, I guess, individual players. Syndrome. He had a fantastic game. Even though they did lose that 2-1, he was playing amazing.
Great impact play from him. Always in the right place, it seemed, and getting the important frags and getting the runs. What I also love, just from Alliance as a whole, is the way that they were controlling the soul while Myztro had the power-up. It's something we've not really seen much of. People are saying, oh, well, we've got the soul, let's get it back to the obelisk. Right at this moment, irrespective of what the other team's doing. There's a lot of strategic play that we're seeing at the moment, and I really enjoy how Lockbox was played out by Alliance. If Strengths maybe had a stronger game on the power-ups that he was doing such a good job at securing, yeah, maybe actually we could have seen a comeback in total, or the second round would look less close than it turned out to be.
And I just want to go back to something you just said about the fact that when Myztro did have the power-up, Alliance controlled the soul. And instead of capping it right away, they sat on it for a long time to wait it out, right? And if you're newer to Quake and to Sacrifice, you can't see the soul when it's being held onto. Yeah. Only when it's dropped. So as long as he sits in a corner and holds onto it, and the team with the power-up is obviously looking for him, but there's a lot of skirmishes happening, the guy with the soul gets told by his teammates, all right, they're coming this direction, they're coming that way, so he can run away and stop the percent from building up from that power-up being secured.
No, absolutely. And what was good actually from Bus Driver X is that he was also delivering in this first map.
So he probably renamed himself to like Taxi Driver?
I don't know, there's some kind of upgrade. We'll get to the Ferraris later on. But really, Bus Driver has got such an interesting background. And I say he's got an interesting background because we don't really know what it is. And when I say we, I mean him as well. Right. I asked him, so where do you come from in the scene? And he says, I come from FPS. I was like, yeah, but which one? I was like, I don't know, all of them. And I was like, okay. So which one do you play the most? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, this is really helpful for me at the moment. I'm trying to provide some beautiful insight into the show and to talk about the players, and he doesn't even know where he comes from in the scene.
Well, even to take a step further, it's like, where'd your name come from? I don't know. I'm changing it soon, so it doesn't matter. Like, come on, man. Where are you going at? What's going in that mind?
You know what? I think people will be absolutely gutted if he does change his name. I think we should actually start a petition to prevent him from changing Bus Driver X. I think he's going to be recognized as that from now on. And going back to his gameplay, he obviously has been in FPS for a long time. His fragging capabilities are off the wall. Maybe sometimes all he needs to do is slow things down a little bit, but you can't really criticize much at this stage when we've seen some such high-level plays from him.
So looking at Alliance, we can easily point out Syndrome as being like a real standout player, but looking at Myztro, the last 2 rounds, I couldn't pick one to stand out, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just meant, like, to me, everyone was playing really well on the team.
There was some very strong performances. I'm glad to see that Hell was making some good runs with the Soul. His Slash performance was very good. Vu, again, making the right runs and working with his team correctly, getting the coordination to know where am I going to make those Soul runs go. There was a little bit of a hiccup between Hypno and Garpy on one of the power-ups where they kind of jumped on the platform.
Right,
and you know, when you got a Solag and you got a Clutch trying to jump on a tiny little platform, there's not enough space for both of them. And I think they both, a little bit just I don't know, strangeness in the communication.
Well, that could be back to what we talked about before of maybe the selfishness that could be there. Maybe they both wanted it. They both wanted to be the fraggers, right? Yeah. And in a team game, you cannot really afford to play like that. I mean,
exactly.
The thing is, like, most of these players come from just a 1v1 background, not necessarily a team play background. So, again, adapting your play style and realizing, you know, maybe you're not the focus of your team is something that maybe some players can't do because they're so used to being in the limelight. Or it's just something that they're not used to doing.
I think Garpy maybe feels that he's got a bit more responsibility in the team. He's the one who kind of, he has to really get everyone else, not necessarily to focus, but to build their communication. And maybe that just adds to the fact that, you know, a small level of additional selfishness, which is, you know, absolutely justified in my opinion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're kicking off now onto Blood Covenant. It's currently 1-0 for Myztro. It's just our first round of games, so still a lot more to come up today. And let's see if Myztro can pull off a 2-0 or Lions can fight their way back here and equalize things. Some good rocket damage already coming through off the bat. Sorlag v Sorlag. So far, it looks like Lions have the kill advantage, and that's all 4 dead. That's a bite.
That is a huge amount of fragging happening, and that is going to be Obelisk B going into the hands of the Alliance. And this, again, to note, guys, this is a Myztro Gaming map pick.
Yeah, funny enough, Myztro ended up winning on Alliance's pick, and then maybe we can see the same thing happen here for Alliance on the enemy side. But meantime, it's a lot of damage being done. Strengths, that nail gun, doing some serious work, picks himself up 2 kills, and Strengths is trying to look for the up close and personal fight against Garp. He was able to secure it, but again, Syndrome on the high ground, coming up big for his team, does return the Soul back up to 18%. Looking good here for Alliance.
The pummels, I can see they got the gauntlet out, and they're trying to get that cheeky extra damage in, but not working so far. Alliance with a good start here.
Again, Syndrome's pushing up close. He has a rocket launcher, but he's feeling like he's suitable with the nail gun, which he's been able to adjust
Definitely.
Doing some serious work. 31%, pretty much uncontested for the most part here. Every time there's a man jumping on top of Obelisk, Alliance is there to just stop it.
Yeah, they're a little bit sketchy at the moment from Myztro. They can't get any of their attacks to work, and in about 10 seconds, if they see that their offense isn't working, it's time to then focus on the power-up. This is really the last rush we'll probably see from them before the power-up spawns.
Well, they could try. Syndrome unfortunately kills himself here, but still has done good amount of damage.
And Garpy not using Clutch anymore. He is down to Nyx. Oh, gets the Mega. He's got damage coming in from the enemy Nyx, and 10 seconds now to the power-up. Garpy's got to get up to the Mega health and at least be around to do some rail damage. This is the spot we want to watch. Where are the players? Aniki's turned up. We've got Alliance in there, and Strength picked up the quad damage.
You know, Strength's not done this only once, he's done it twice. His timing on when the power-up spawns and when he needs to come out of his Ghost Walk is fantastic. Because typically when you see the power-up come up, it's picked up instantaneously. And his Ghost Walk finishes right after that. So you can completely catch someone off guard, get the telefrag kill, and then pick up the power-up yourself.
What you find sometimes with that, if it's a quad damage and a lot of people are firing rockets at it, you don't have that protection all of a sudden, you can die. But if it works so well when the protection spawns. But it's definitely a strategy that a lot of teams are trying to adopt at the moment.
All right, that quad has fallen off Hypno, 31 to 44%. Looks like each team has been able to, on this map in particular compared to Lockbox, it's been able to build up, you know, a good 30–40% each time they do take the Soul. But the problem is now Hypno on the low ground, not able to get back up there quickly enough. Looking for that 1v1. Sorlag yet again. It looks like Strength is able to get the better of him. Sorry, Bus Driver able to get the better of him.
The whole Myztro team just fell just then in that fight. And Strength's passing it across the Syndrome, got the Anarchy, looking to get across on the rail ledge. And he's heard that it's not a pretty picture over there.
Well, again, he's not rushing the soul in. He's waiting for his teammates to pick up the kills from him to get here, but he's almost by himself. 19 health. Hypno secures that kill. The soul didn't really even make its way there here. Now it's all in the back of Vu to run this across the map. There's going to be so many people around him here. The lightning gun's going to actually do a hell of a lot of damage, and he's not able to pick up the kill here. Garpy able to pick up the torch here as he does secure the soul in his hands. Their way.
Did he get on top? He didn't get the soul there. It's going to be passed across to Hell, who's got the slash, but he's trying to figure out, should I throw it up if I were him? He's not going to do that. It's down by where the health bubble spawns. He needs to chuck it. He chucks it back over to the obelisk. His teammates aren't there, but it's that extra few units away that Alliance have got to walk.
And he also gives Myztro some time to respawn back in and defend this point. Hell, a little bit overextended there. Does get 1v2'd.
I think Myztro have got to focus on the power-up now. They feel like, screw it. Okay, you got it. That's fine. We're going to get the power-up, and we're going to make sure the next 10 seconds we pick it up again. What the hell just happened there?
Sparty Rocket kill, then a Telefrag kill, then Vu is finally able to respond with 2 himself. The protection's already been picked up by Garpy, and just like you said, focusing on the power-up is now going to be focusing onto this obelisk. He's got his teammates here just pretty much absorbing the damage coming his way. 30 HP remaining. He's using the rockets as well to look for the escape. A nice connection to initially start that one off. Strengths, they want to finish him off before they do finally secure, at least pick up the soul off.
Did they manage to get the soul full? I think one of the players has it. There's support coming out.
No.
Oh, it was going to fall out of there for just a second. And they're still trying to pick it up. That attack didn't work out so well. I think what Garpy was trying to do is make some space for his team on the obelisk, rocket jumping away and collecting who would have been attacking back from the middle that was respawning. We've got a throw, but it goes right into the hands of the enemy Solag, and it will return to base.
You call that interception?
Yeah.
In America.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if there's a football term for it here in England.
I believe so.
Oh, interception.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, there we go. Works both ways.
I'm all up with that soccer ball.
We watch, eSports. We don't watch other sports. Strength sitting on the back point here with the machine gun still trying to hammer out. This rocket still coming through. He runs directly into one, but 91% built up here. This is Myztro's chance to potentially take this soul back. Very close to with the slash damage coming through. Bus driver again.
Wow.
He's going to be there for one, but he's not there for the entirety. Now Vu's going to have the soul and move it back across.
There's an enemy right in the way. He just about gets the unbelievable movement. That was sick from Vu.
Doing it backwards as well.
Yeah.
That's the important part. Through the doorways without getting halted. He's definitely practiced this quite a bit. Hell, Hypno able to chime in, able to keep the kills on the point.
Look at the percentages too.
Exactly. This is do or die time for Myztro.
So there's only a few seconds needed for Alliance if they want to get to that 100%. At the moment, we've got people going up to the high ground. I know this is something they've been thinking about very carefully. How many people to put on the low ground, how many to have on the high. You've also got to make sure that the health bubbles are being taken in the base, because if you start giving them to the opponents, then you're essentially giving them, just boosting their health points. Uh-oh, here we come. Who's going to win that one? I think that was Sparty, who won on that occasion.
He's got the quad. He's got really not many people here on the obelisk to defend this, but he's got a teammate towards the high ground, which allows him to create some distance, but he's still going to potentially run into some other people. The lightning do some serious damage against Vu.
Oh, I like
it. Passed off to a teammate.
That was nice. Oh, the jump didn't work out too well for Bus Driver. It shouldn't slow him down too much. He's looking for a way, and he's got the quad supporting him from the mid-level, and I believe they will get it back on. Hell, how did he intercept that? I'm not sure how he did that. That's insane.
Well, it didn't work out, unfortunately. He did get the interception, but there's just too many people around him, and it's supposed to be placed back in the obelisk here for Alliance. We need to see a contestant finally be able to come in. 99% built up. The frags from the side from Strengths. Doing some serious work. Gets himself a triple, and that's going to be a wipe, and that should be Alliance taking this first round here.
That's it.
Surprise rocket is the best rocket. They weren't even looking towards him, and he hits a nice midi. Sick midi.
I like it there in the corner as well. They're not being able to seen by the opponents, and just as it's too late, as they see that rocket connecting with their skull, they know it's at the end.
The thing is, that obelisk is so hard to attack, I feel like, because obviously when you get on the obelisk, you have to watch in front of you on the high ground, you have to watch to your side. I mean, yeah, obviously you can talk about, the other obelisks, there's so much high ground around you, but you can attack from high ground, you can attack from low at the same time, but here you can't. You have basically one direction to fight from, and there's so many ways and so many positions that the defending team can be there.
Oh, he actually did manage to get the plasma shell down in time, so it'll be interesting to see who picks it up first. I think that was Hypno. And then it's going to get passed up to the top. It looks like Alliance are going to be able to get it to the point. They're waiting just to see, is the coast clear? It is, and all of a sudden they all turn around and wonder, where on earth was he hiding? We need to get that soul before the rest of the Alliance return.
Again, Syndrome's having a great game here. 3 kills for this man. I actually want to see what his kills like were in this match. Seems to just always be going off, and he's doing it on Anarchy too. He's not doing it like on necessarily you know, a VJ, not doing it on a Ranger. He's just picking up these kills while moving around the map and still while running these souls across.
Definitely hear the tension a little bit more in the game at the moment, and the pressure that the Myztro guys are going to be well, resting on their shoulders. And the first attacks definitely haven't been successful, and they'll already start thinking about what type of strategy they want to adopt when this power-up forms. Definitely time, though, for another coordinated 3 or 4 man push.
That nail gun through that corridor is so deadly. You cannot even peek it at this rate. 130 through and 40% built up for Alliance. Finally, Sparty might go down. He gets attacked from the backside. It's going to be Garpy secure the kill. Garpy is pretty much on his own against 3.
Is there anything that he can do here? He doesn't want to use his Ghost Walk. He needs to save that for the power-up in the moment. Pressure not being able to put on. That is 50% about to be on Obelisk B.
That spit comes through.
Just got thrown away. Now the soul is up at the top level, I think, but it was Sparty that picked it up again, and he just threw it back into Garpy, chucking it over to a teammate. Vu now looking to abuse this movement a bit, but that is going to be quad given to Alliance.
I'm not sure if I fully agree with them challenging onto the power-up with only 2 or 3 people when they knew, you know, Alliance, well, they're not here on the point anymore because we either killed them or they ran away, and they just gave up a man advantage here as we're finally getting to the Obelisk. Myztro do have it, but the soul should be taken here in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and Bus Driver is getting frags. You can see the shotgun on the top left. That is the damage that he's trying to do. They haven't got the soul. They've only just picked it up, in fact, which is fairly surprising. And that quad is now gone. No more use of it. And you can see all the blue players around the map. They're trying to block off the entrances to Alliance to get back to their Obelisk.
What we talked about, you know, attacking into this, defending team has an advantage, even though Myztro is the one defending it right now. They're not the ones who own that Obelisk at all. Just make it very hard for Alliance to push through, but again, the focus fire is coming through. Bus Driver able to get the acid spit kill on a Vu.
The frags. And Syndrome Cam once again. Been one of my favorite to watch in this match so far. He's been extraordinary. Great pass though.
It makes me that much more sad that he didn't get through into the duel qualifier, into here to play duel, only for sacrifice. I'm really curious how he would have done in duel.
He had a good crack at it, but he's far more sort of sacrifice focused. I know he's been lurking on all the Discord channels in order to get scrims up and ready to go. He's going to be delighted to be able to play for Alliance at the same time. I know that he used to play for Myztro, and Alliance clearly offered him something that he couldn't turn down.
Money. I don't know. Well, either way, I mean, they're still performing pretty well. Yeah, they're down, you know, 0-1 in the series, but they're looking very good here on Blood Covenant.
Uh-oh. Comes it's all like, Sal, it can't get out of here, and Bus Driver is going to take him down. A little bit of a slow movement, and that's going to allow Sparty to bring it back. Only 30% needed, and then it's going to potentially go to a tiebreaker map.
We'll be on Runes of Sornath if we do get there. Power up in 1 second. Looks like it will go the red-hand side for Alliance.
I think that was taken by Nick and just went invisible straight after. Again, strengths, one of his biggest strengths, for strengths, for God's sake, has been picking up the power up.
Still wasn't bad. I liked it. Wasn't bad at all. HMG coming through from the high ground. He does actually manage to get pushed off, but he gets dropped by Vu, picks himself up a double. He maintains the soul control and now has quad control. We saw how important it was on Lockbox. Let's see if he can do it yet again here. Nice little movement trying to get across the high ground, but the quad's about to fade. It looks like Alliance is respected, is waiting for it to finish off before they do go for the attack.
It's a pointless attack to go in when he's got the quad. They're just all going to get splattered.
But look at his health. I mean, he hasn't been able to heal back up fully. He's at 50 HP, which, yeah, that's, you know, quite a bit, but it's not going to be enough. Finally, injection will be used, but he's still low on HP.
The high ground attack as well from Alliance has been really nice, and I know that Hell went down below in order to get that plasma trail going, maybe a little bit prematurely, but it would have slowed down Alliance somewhat. Hypno, though, he's on the point, holding back, and they've actually managed to get rid of all of the Alliance players, so holding on tight, trying to get all those resources now, and get ready for the war to start again.
All right, 60%, so Myztro again, proving that they can defend this point when they do need to. Oh, God. Sparty, that could have been the frag to actually turn this around and get Alliance further up here, closer to that 100% mark. They do have the soul picked up for Syndrome. Moving across the point. Does get a kill, actually killing a Garpy in the meantime. Returns the soul as well. But he's pretty much by himself. He needs some teammates to come back through. He's going to be Starlight off towards his left-hand side, look to contest the point. But the damage is being done here. The rockets, the lightning, everything being thrown their way. And Alliance is going to defend.
That's it. There's a lot of the obelisk percentage for Myztro went up hugely, but they've now got to protect themselves from what Alliance is about to achieve. Here comes Hypno with the Solag. There's also a Slash right in front, controlled by Hell. And the Soul is out. It's out of the obelisk.
But the power-up, 9 seconds left to go here. So Myztro.
That's tight.
I mean, you're going to have a 3-on-4 fight if you do go for the power-up here. So maybe just try to go for the confirm. Maybe hope it's going to be a quad. They're challenging it.
Wow, Hell managed to secure it. That's actually enormous. He hasn't got much health. His focus at the moment is to pick up that HP.
Thing is,
he can defend.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's not necessarily about him picking up to secure for defense. It's about keeping it away from Alliance's hands to use it to attack onto the obelisk and look to pick up the Soul. 73%, he gets the gauntlet out, and they're going to hold again. This is going to hit up to 80, 85 before we see Alliance make a good next attack.
This is going to be very, very close finish because it's going to be in a couple of seconds. That protection is going to go, and then we're going to wait to see an attack. And by that point, by the time it's been successful, it's probably going to be closer to 90%. They've actually got the Soul out even ahead of time. And that is Syndrome running it in the end. The Chaos.
Oh.
I mean, he's gone for the armor. I don't know why he did that. He just needs to get back onto the point. He tried to deny it from the enemy, and it might have turned out to be a very good move. But again, you've got to be so careful with time, as the repositioning from Myztro could have been massive. 95%.
This is going to be Maestro's last attack here. They have to have a contention on this obelisk as quick as they possibly can. Looks like Garby's trying to come through, but Garby's not going to be there.
Where are they? Where are they?
Alliance have done it. That's going to be a tied series here, taking a 2-0 on Blood Covenant. On a map that they didn't even choose, they take a 2-0.
That's it. They've switched on the map picks, basically. Taking each other's
Maybe our overlays are wrong. No, this was definitely the right picks, but Alliance really starting to come alive here. So the emotion that we were talking about, maybe not affecting them too much. Syndrome, 35 frags, 30 deaths.
Definitely, well, actually, Bus Driver X of 35 to 25, so
pretty good.
Both of the LAN newbies.
Thing is, like, we didn't see Bus Driver getting like 2, 3, 4Ks. It was more about just consistent kills over the course of the entire map.
And that's absolutely what he's all about. Yeah. He's so good at damage, and we get frustrated online, or like maybe not me specifically, but I'm watching them, and at the beginning they're like, who is this Bus Driver X character? He's always dropping just massive frags, and you know, we don't know him from the historical lands or anything like that. Right. He's just turned up with his FPS skill and managed to really make an impact already in the sort of embryonic stages of Quake Champions.
I feel like a player like him, if we think about it, consistent, consistency, getting kills, so not flashy, but they're consistent. And I feel like that's more valuable to a team than having someone who can just go off every once in a while. Like, seeing Syndrome being like the star player for the team, has a great game, 50 frags, 20 deaths, but then the next game he's like 10 and 37. Like, you need someone who's consistent on the team to be that solid backbone, and I feel like Bus Driver's been able to fill that here so far for the team.
I think what's even more impressive is he's almost sort of shunning the haters. A lot of people say, well, hey, you're not so LAN experienced. You're going to turn up into the environment and you're going to crumble under the pressure. And that's actually not happened. He's showing a really good game. He's given his team a very good chance now of getting through to the next round, where I believe they would face against whoever wins this. I believe will go against No Too Fast.
Okay.
And
it's a difficult match.
Really, yeah, very, very difficult match. But you know what? It puts you in good stead, at least going forward. So win or lose, you're going to either go to the QWC at QuakeCon, or you're going to get only one game to play that you need to win in the loser bracket. So either way, this is a very, very important match.
We talked about Strengths being a very emotional player. When he gets down himself, it can maybe affect the team a little bit. But the opposite of that you also mentioned is that when he gets excited, it can make everyone else play really well. And you can see him there on your screen, and maybe that's what Bus Driver's relying on. I think Strengths is maybe keeping him powered up. Yeah, I think that's just, he's French. That's how he always looks. But no, like I think that maybe his energy is helping Bus Driver stay calm, in the LAN environment with the nerves, helping him focus on these kills. And when you're Bus Driver, once you do put up a score like that, I feel like you can definitely calm yourself later on, and that maybe worries me for any team that plays against Alliance later, because he's already had a good showing in his first game. He's going to be more confident in his later matches.
I think that's not just Strengths, but with Sparty as well. They've got this brilliant aura of confidence around them that they've had for so long. Just the way that they compose themselves in the scene and professionally as gamers. When for Bus Driver and Syndrome, who might be less experienced on LAN, being alongside that and being sort of under that aura is really empowering. So it's going to help them play their game even more so. It's definitely gotten pretty intense though, getting to the tiebreaker. I thought for sure after the first round of the first map, I was like, wow, Myztro might even walk all over. But it's definitely not the case.
And it's interesting to see how kind of back and forth it's been. We've seen on Lockbox how back and forth it really was, but then we go into Blood Covenant and it's like every time you get the soul, you get a good 30-40% built up for you, and teams kind of struggle to attack successfully. But then once they go back once or twice, I feel like when the power-up comes up is when things really start to shake things up, and you get the protection. You can rush someone in there to be a tank that's not necessarily a tank, or maybe quad. You get lucky with a couple of shots, then there you are at like a 4-on-2 man advantage, and it's really hard to kind of fight your way out.
I think part of it on the difference between Lockbox and Blood Covenant for Myztro Gaming is the fact that they were making such great decisions that we could see on Lockbox in terms of when they chose to defend, when they chose to attack, and when they chose that actually getting the power up is the most important thing at that very moment. And on Blood Covenant, they were almost sort of split in minds. They weren't a unit doing one objective at the same time. They were kind of trying to share the responsibilities a bit too much. And when you do that and you're outnumbered on both the points you're trying to control, you're probably going to be dying there and getting team wiped or something along those lines.
And the lineup that Alliance is running too can be very scary to even try to contest a power-up because you have a Nyx and you have a Ranger. So you have two opportunities of being insta-gibbed.
Yeah.
And you're not going to want to sit on the power-up. Like, you're not going to want to maybe run through it because of the timings they've been pulling off. Like we mentioned it before, strengths. He's using that Ghost Walk at the perfect time that when the power-up spawns, he comes out of that form. Yeah. And typically, when you're trying to steal it, you try to steal it right when it spawns in. So he's already been able to do that before against Garpy on Lockbox when he's playing clutch. We saw Sparty doing it there as well on the Ranger with a couple of telefrags with the Dire Orb. And, if you're Myztro, you want to contest the power-up, right? But also knowing in the back of your mind, we could lose 2 people instantly off this and then potentially lose a soul, or they build up another 10-15% because of that. It could be a mental block of some sorts.
That's it. I think you raised a really interesting point, actually, which is something we talk about right at the beginning of the show, but that champion composition.
Right.
You make a point with no Ranger, actually, for Myztro Gaming. We saw such impact moves from Sparty with the Dire Orb that I think that could be one of the differentiating factors with it. There was the Nyx, the Slash, and the Anarchy, and the Sorlag for Myztro Gaming. And on reflection, I mean, I'm not sure which one of those I'd get rid of and which one of them I'd maybe add with a Ranger. But I mean, it shows that even as the tournament goes on, the way you pick the champions is becoming so interesting and important.
So you have Alliance. You have the 2 champions who can insta-give, right? But on the side of Myztro, you have 2 champions with Sorlag and with Slash that can zone control. The thing is, I feel like the zone control hasn't really been affecting too much because obviously you could jump over to his Nyx, you can Dire Orb through it, and the avenues that I think Alliance have been attacking haven't been from the same direction to allow the Acid Spit or to allow the Plasma Trail to really do work. So we see like 2 kind of styles, right? The instinct style versus the zone control style, but I think so far, for the most part, minus on Lockbox, the insta-give style has been working out.
Yeah, that's it. And I wonder if this is going to make them think about what their champion composition is going to be on the next map, because going into Ruins of Sarnath, I would expect a clutch pick. This is something that's very important, particularly the way that you can attack the lower obelisk is very important. So I think it's going to be a given that Garpy is going to be playing that. Okay. And I'm also aware that Hal would be very much favoring the Slash on Ruins of Sarnath, and Vu plays Anarchy on no matter what the map is. So I wonder what's Hypno going to add to that. Yeah, that's it. Anarchy, that's his bread and butter. Hypno, I'm guessing he's probably going to be playing Sorlag again. Interesting thing with Alliance in terms of how their players and the champion picks came around. When they took Syndrome from Myztro Gaming before Vu joined the team, he was the Nyx player.
So he changed roles, pretty much.
So yeah, he changed roles and he became Anarchy, and that was because Strengths told him to, no, sod off, I'm the Nyx player. Welcome to the team. You can go on to Anarchy now. Which he wasn't comfortable with initially, but he's grown into it, and obviously very well by the the fragging and just the moves and just the playing that we've seen in general from him today.
Well, since you do have the insight into Myztro, and I can see that everyone on Alliance does have their headphones on, can you kind of give us an insight to what Myztro is going to try to do here as we go to Ruins of Sarnath?
Well, one thing you can do with Clutch is the offensive capabilities when you're trying to capture the soul are
Garpy did that really well on Lockbox, actually.
He did incredibly well, and it's something they're definitely going to try to do on Ruins, and they're going to try and make sure that they take the top obelisk on the map. That's something that they'll desperately want to do. Slash, again, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of zoning out from them at the same time, but at the end of the day, you've got to be very reactive as well as proactive in trying to make your tactics work, but reactive because obviously you're not sure what the opponent's going to do, and you've got to play that sense and respond accordingly to what they're going to be giving.
It's kind of weird too, because we think about TTK. It's a term used in a lot of FPS games. It stands for time to kill. How quickly you can kill someone in a game. And the TTK in Quake is really fast, especially in this game mode. So I'm trying to think. You can obviously have tanky characters. You can have your clutch. You can get your Sorlag in there. You can get a Scale Bearer even. But the time to kill can be so high that it might actually just be better off going for the smaller models of like your Slash, of your Nyx. So that way you're inadvertently taking less damage and you're making yourself tanky at the same time. In that kind of sense, right? It doesn't make sense on paper, but in the way the game works. So I'm wondering, do they need to go for, you know, we saw them running 3, they had the Sorlag, they had the Nyx, they had the Anarchy, and they had the Slash. So they had 3 small model champions. So I'm wondering if they're going to continue to go that route.
Makes it very vulnerable, actually.
Yeah, it makes you very vulnerable, but at the same time, it can make you very tanky, with air quotation marks, because it's hard to hit you, right?
Yeah.
But then that puts more value on the rocket launcher, and obviously Alliance is going to know that. So I'm just curious, are they going to go for more of a traditionally tanky lineup with a clutch in there with Sorlag?
I'm pretty positive that's going to be the case, unless they really try to throw a curveball in there. And you know, sometimes that happens in the duel. You say, oh, I've not been winning these rounds. You move to the next map, and you've got the composition that you've got every single time, and you know you're going to pick it 100%. And just because you lost in the last map, you're like, should I do something different?
Right.
And should I try and catch my opponent off guard? I don't think that Myztro is going to be doing that. I think they'll stick to what they know they're good at, and what I know they've been practicing for the last week, basically. But that could be something that they're second-guessing. That's
something really dangerous to do in an environment like this. Switching up to what you've been doing and what you know to something that might counter the enemy if you haven't practiced it. But we are finally in, guys. We did have to switch out a monitor, but we're ready to go. It's tied at 1 apiece here between Myztro and Alliance. Myztro on your blue side, Alliance on the red. And let's see how things are going to kick off here, as that Soul will be spawning in any moment.
Well, I can see a Sorlag there on Hypno. I saw the clutch of Garpy as well, and I believe we got 2 small champions.
I don't remember that champion.
From
that's the giant eye jumping around the map.
Oh, he's managed to actually grab it, and he's got the shield up as well, trying to pass it over to a teammate. Let's see who's going to be able to carry on with it.
It's funny, I've seen so many times over the course of today where the person carrying the Soul is like in a 1v2, and he's most certainly going to lose his fight, right? But what he does is he throws the Soul away, and the 2 people that were attacking him ignore him. Like, all right, we're after the Soul. It's like throwing a tennis ball with a pack of dogs. They completely ignore you and go for that. But whereas you could just send one to kill him, and the other one picks up the Soul and runs. So really interesting to see, you know, a little bit of a difference here. Lions did finish off that frag before they did eventually pick up the Soul. But Myztro are the ones to secure it first, getting that B obelisk.
And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the game. They wanted that upper obelisk because it means that their offensive strategy down for A should be a lot stronger. We're going to see some defense at the moment for another 30 to 40 seconds, and then we'll go over to power up.
You're not coming up that jump pack, son. Why? He did it too. He went back up, used the acid spit, got the kill, did eventually fall for it, but there's no way you're going to survive jumping up that with rockets being thrown your way.
That's it. Our Striver at the moment, he's got a whole bunch of weapons, and they're going to try and go in for one last bum rush to try and make something happen. He's got a lot of health, and there's going to be Garpy calling for his teammates. He goes, where are you guys? We need to get here. Throws the orb to the middle, so the Soul to the middle. Strength is going to pick it up afterwards, and this should be them getting onto the point.
Oh, Strength doesn't hit that first shot. He does have Ghost Walk against his teammates there. He's taken away. He's going to fall. He knows it too. Hypno gets that kill with the acid. Hypno gets the respawn back in, but the Soul has finally been taken 39-6.
We've got to focus on the power-up as well.
Yep, 5 seconds to go.
They're going to let that stay, and a whole lot of plasma trail damage there to watch out for. I believe it's that Hell that's managed to grab it. It is. And now he's going to look to get a little bit more health and make an attack here on this point. Ooh, a lot of damage being taken. He's not hitting too many shots at the moment, but he's getting himself onto the point.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really like him taking that Soul. I think he realized he kills himself.
Yeah.
Gives it over to Garpy, who now has quad. He's a tank. He's got quad damage, and he's got a shield up to get back onto the job. A smart play by Hell, I'd say.
Oh, he goes down actually. Syndrome picks it up, and he manages to send the Soul back to mid. And what Garpy did there is he really didn't want to use his shield. He was so focused on not using it so that he could put it at another point when he wants to attack or go for another objective or defend later on. But it didn't happen, and now Garpy, he decided to use his shield, but Syndrome making it back. Oh, not in time. And Hell, he's coming in, slipping and sliding.
And rollerblading through. I still say...
Stop saying that right now.
I love rollerblades. I really want to get a pair. They look down upon when you're 29, but you know what? I don't care.
These are like plasma blades.
That'd be even better. It's like a laser show. It's like going to a Daft Punk concert there, as it's going to be a lot of rails being thrown in the direction of Hell. So the soul will be picked up by Syndrome, who's just trying to get away. It does get stopped by the pillar, which has allowed, I believe that's Vu, to get there in time to potentially stop it. But either way, it's going to be captured, and there's no way he's going to survive this 1v3. But they're ignoring him. He's somehow still alive. Finally, Vu's going to clean that one up, and the soul has been secured, but it gets caught by Bus Driver, I believe, midair.
That was insane. He went up the bounce pad, and they threw it right at him and managed to get it back on the point. Alliance still holding on to the soul on their obelisk.
That's called goaltending. Basketball reference. I'm not sure if you can...
Beyond me, I'm afraid.
Okay. Anyways, but it's going to be the soul still held onto by Alliance. Hell's going to pick up a nice kill with the LG. And it looks like they will be able to return it here in a few seconds. Oh no, Hell, 9 HP. We'll just barely escape.
Hell is going off right now with his movement, and he's just playing this excellently. Look at this, getting as much of this plasma trail all over the quad as he can, or the protection as it might turn out to be. Let's see, what did it turn out to be? Strength yet again. We're not even surprised at this point. I'm curious if there's a stat to see how many times Strength has picked up the power-up as it spawns over the course of the series. He's actually going to suicide and give it to a teammate who's got a nice stack.
Smart gets him in towards the point, has the armor too to survive this one. There's 3 people focusing on him, and yet he still steals the soul under their noses, throws it across the map as well. Somehow he's still alive, 23 health, they're unable to finish him off. And it looks like this is Alliance able to return this. Well done by them, such a smart play.
Hypno running in, he's got the acid, he's done a lot of area damage on the point, so we're going to see a bit of defense at the moment. Just as that offense didn't work for Myztro, Garpy dying there, falling, the robot exploding, and I'm curious if he's got the shield up as well, because that's where they could really use their tactic, enforce it correctly, and try and get the soul from that obelisk.
It's the first map in the series we've seen people, you know, actively suiciding just to be able to give the power-ups to the rest of his teammates.
This is what he's doing. You can just see what he's doing with the shield there. Did he manage to get it away and send it across? He did. Perfect execution of that tactic from Myztro.
Well, there's a plasma trail down, there's a shield. How the hell are you going to stop that? How are you going to get any kills? If you get on top of the point, on top of the obelisk, you're going to die eventually here. But Vu coming up big here at the LG, gets 1 kill, looking for the second. Injection going to come through, and Hypno's going to be there to help him out. The soul still be contested, but the soul has been taken and been thrown across the map yet again.
They're going to chase. Bus Driver's got a really strong stack. They're just going for the chip damage at the moment with the machine gun.
Oh no!
No, he didn't. The 2 slow champions saw like a little faster than Garpy on that clutch.
I've had that happen way too many times in other games with knives. Just running at you with the knife or with the gauntlet here, and there's just nothing. You just know you're going to die. Either way, though, the power up at 5 seconds. We're going to see both teams.
That's it. It's up any moment right now. Got a good view of it over here. So far, Myztro have been pretty good with the power up, but they're going to be giving it away on this occasion to Bus Driver. And what he wants to do is nothing but defend.
85%
at this time. Wow, he even gets a frag just then.
I love that sound. So it's so intimidating to hear when that quad is just going off here. But like I said, trying to defend 93%. So quad's going to stick around for a little bit longer. It's going to be up for long enough where that Myztro's going to have to run into this quad and somehow deal with it. Maybe pick up this kill. He's got his ass spit up to zone now. He's one on the point. You can see him using this one to keep them back. So will be taken by Garpy, and he throws it right to an enemy. And I think that was like Syndrome who picked up and threw it back up to the point.
Hell's managed to get a kill though with the plasma trail. It's on him at the moment. If we've got that soul carry, we can see exactly what's going on, but I believe he just died. Strength is going to get it. Is there any more teammates? We've got Vu, who's trying to make it in. Have they got onto the point? They just about made it before it goes to 100, but they've got the kill. We've got Hell now. He's trying to make sure that that timer keeps on ticking back up, but it looks like Alliance are going to make that first round of this last tie-breaking map.
Still so close between the two, and that timing of quad.
Yeah, that
could not have worked more against Myztro, to be honest.
No, but again, it came at that critical moment where there was little enough percentage left for Alliance to gain, that the timing remaining. They knew they were going to get to 99%. It was just whether they could hold from there.
Right. I like the way that Syndrome played that too, because he didn't sit on the point. He knew, okay, well, they have a clutch, right? So the chance of them taking the soul away from us is really high. But he sat in the path that they knew Garpy would throw the soul. He just caught it midair, threw it back to the point. It's like, all right, you spent all that to get our soul, and I just caught it and returned it.
No, that was absolutely perfectly read from him. But at the moment, we've got Strength. He's going to pass it up to the rocket launcher area. Can get the jump up. Have we got any opponents in the meantime? Strength has got it.
They're still locked in, though. It's going to be really hard for Strength to escape. This one is being pressured. I think the Mega was picked up by Garpy there. No, he actually, sorry, that was Strength who did secure it. Gave him the HP left.
I don't know how he's alive.
He got the Mega in the midst of that.
That's insane, though. But there was so much potential damage that had come out. And now what's horrible is that Myztro do not get the obelisk they would want. they're going to have to fight an uphill battle, no, almost literally at the same time, to win this round. And it is match point for Alliance.
Look at that angle Strengths is covering too. He's got the jump pad, and he can see every other way that they can come in towards that obelisk. So he has so much freedom to get these kills. He's going to use that Ghost Swap to get aggressive here against the Sorlag. He gets the kill on the Hypno. 3 great rockets thrown out of this man. And I think his attack on the Myztro's already failed.
Yeah, that one not going to work too favorably for them. No, Strengths, that's your buddy. You can try and get the middies, but not on him. All the work. Strengths is going to return. I think that's Hell just falling through. It's like, oh, I messed up my jump. Damn it.
That's what happens when you lose like one crucial person, right? Yeah, you get the soul, but you don't have the person to grab it or throw it to return it to your own obelisk. And as Strengths picked himself up a double. Hypno again. Respawning back in, does have the soul, but he's not going to have a chance to get there with the LG. No, finally, teammates able to come in to help him out.
I got to say that was slightly lucky. I think it was that Vu that passed the soul just then. I think he was trying to pass it on the upper side of mid, but Hypno was down below, and it hit just a little clip or a corner of the arch, and went down to Hypno. So, but he'll go with that. You make your own luck at the end of the day. And the soul was taken by Syndrome for just a second. Is it being passed around at all? Oh no, Lance has got a, sorry, Myztro's got it back.
He's got a quad.
He's going down though, at the same time, and Vu, he's got the Mega up in a moment. He's going to kill himself. But what? No, he didn't tell his teammates in time. He had it all perfectly thought out, but it didn't work out. This is, that's a bit of a mess, and that is a possible set costing mess up to make.
For Myztro, hopefully not. Ooh, that's a great shotgun. 160 damage to Vu, not going to survive. That still has been taken away, thrown off against Spartia on the Ranger. We haven't really seen a lot of kills out of him, but I've been watching the kill feed, and every now and then he's getting these telefrag kills.
He's present.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
There. It's just not been the showbot on stream. He's not been so much on the objective. He's supporting in the sidelines, getting important kills, and empowering the other teammates on his team.
Oh, Hypno, nice little shot there. Soul, not sure exactly where it has been thrown off to, but it has actually been put back into the obelisk here for Alliance. 25%. Well, if Alliance win this round, they're one game away from going to QuakeCon. A lot of pressure. You don't want to be dropping to the loser bracket right away. This attack is coming from Myztro, but not really going to do much when you're 1v3.
Okay, we're going to try and get an attack at the moment from Garpy. They've managed to secure the point. Oh, it's going to drop to the bottom. It's an absolute pit. They're trying to use the injection at the same time while dropping the soul, but it's not going to work. And the pummel coming out, causing a huge step. What just happened?
Boo! He was waiting by the teleporter. He got the kill.
Unreal.
He's going to get away as well. Look at this movement out of this man. Picks up the rocket launcher as well. There's going to be no one else behind him to attack. And he returns it. Great timing, great positioning out of him, and great awareness in general. Oh,
beautiful.
What a shot.
Amazing work out of Vu just then, and coming in just as they need. This is this is a player that when he's delivering and when he's performing well, he can change the tide of the game completely.
And you're going to see 6 seconds on the power-up here. We haven't seen too many protections. I think double quad so far. It's got to be protection.
What?
No, another quad coming through. Syndrome picks himself up 1 kill. Strengths gets 1 as well. The quad's going to be in the hands of Hypno, who needs a little bit of help here.
Some good damage from Hypno just then, but it is going to be Strengths in the end who does take the quad. And there's probably only 15 seconds or so left, and there's a lot of percentage being taken by Myztro. If Garpy's got his shield up, he doesn't. He's not going to use it. He's going to save it for an attack.
I hope he doesn't if he didn't use it there, because that's going to be Strengths picking up a triple with the HMG. Soul's been taken away. But luckily for them, they bought a lot of time. Like, the quad that was being used took a little bit to actually get on towards that point to take the soul away. So the quad's not going to be as present anymore. Oh, I say that, and we do see Strengths pick up another kill, and they do wipe Myztro. But now it's their time. I mean, 64 seconds. Or sorry, 64%. It's a lot built up for Myztro when it was already looking so bad in this round.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm wondering this 30 seconds or less than 30 seconds, Garpy is going to go in for an attack actually. He's got to be careful not to show his back because that would cost damage. But he picked up the soul, he's given it across to Hypno, and Hal is just trying to support his buddy. Oh, this is close. The missed shot though from Syndrome actually allows Hypno to get onto the point. That rail, if it connected, again, could have been critical. You talk about some of these shots are so important. And this usually doesn't mean that much, but sometimes it can really change the game.
Considering the pace that we have seen been going so far on this map, and considering how these teams can react to a nice kill or a miss, Myztro is able to return with a shotgun. Yeah, I mean, she completely zones out this entire staircase. Unless you're Sorlag, and you don't care. Yeah,
that's it. With Sorlag, you obviously don't take acid damage as it's on the floor, but you do take direct damage if it hits you in the face.
Great job by Garpy. Does have a shield up this time. Does pick up 2 kills to continue to build percent. 94 so far for Myztro. Alliance have to be careful. This is one of their last attacks. Power-up's not going to be up for a little bit of time. Here, Strength somehow gets a kill for Hell. With 99%, they have a contestant to at least have that chance to take it away, but I think they've lost all the people.
That's it. Myztro have done it. They are 1-1 on the third map, and it's coming down to the wire. We have seen almost all the rounds we possibly could get in this series at the moment. The second map was 2-0 to Alliance, but otherwise we're getting 8 rounds.
I feel like whenever we cast together, we're destined to have these really long matches.
And they're always really, really good matches at the same time. We are at the beginning of the third round. Syndrome on cam to begin with, and 10 seconds until the first soul spawns.
Some good rocket damage being done here by Syndrome on 12 HP, somehow still alive, and charge directly into Hell to finish him off here. The soul now spawn back in him. We've got Strange to pick one up and toss it back to a teammate. He is taking away on damage though.
Oh, he's down. I think there's a lot of kills there from Myztro. They're going to be able to find it. They are, and they've also got their preferred obelisk. This is a very good start to this last round for Myztro. They need to be absolutely focused at the moment. It is so pivotal that they remain composed, they remain coordinated, and make sure that all the players in the team are using their comms appropriately. Ooh, that was close. A stray nick. What else did we do?
Shotgun was able to finish him off too, so very weak. Hell though. Does get the kill on Syndrome, at least return that one. In the meantime, there's still a lot of fighting on that obelisk. Myztro up to 21%, so they have the obelisk they want. They have the early percent. They have the position too. Somehow Garpy falls from this though. I wasn't expecting Syndrome to be able to push in like that and pick up that kill. There's not a lot of HP left on the targets of the defending team here for Myztro.
It's not too bad at all for Garpy because he can respawn. If he used the shield recently, he can get himself some hourglasses and weapons on the way back to the base. And by this point now, he should have been able to return. There he is. We just saw him darting across, and that soul got a little movement on the map, and we have got it passed over to the next obelisk. Wonderful. But pressure immediately going to be on there. Hypno getting a frag, and look at that. We had about 5 frags in a quarter of a second, and Hypno returns. Little rocket jumps to get himself across, and just about made it. Power up in 3 seconds. Well, what are the Myztro guys doing? They need to get there immediately.
Well, and these kills that they're picking up right now are so crucial too, but it looks like it's pretty much an equal trade. It's going to be Nyx there sitting on it, looking for the spawn. What's it going to be? 3 seconds to go on this one.
There we are.
Nice use of the shield as well, or potentially using the shield as well to secure it, but they actually do lose that man. The quad's going to be picked up and dropped immediately. Syndrome picks himself up a triple, 2 LGs and the rail, and now he's got the quad for Strengths to use.
What do you know? Strengths has got the power up.
So not only does he play Nyx for the team, he also gets all the power-ups.
Well, when he's your strongest aimer on your team, you're not bothered by that. Yeah. You're quite delighted. So, but it's almost sort of comical just how good he's been at with it.
Let's see, Soul has been taken away. 6% for Alliance. Can be thrown back up to Strength, so he could pick this one up and run it back. Looks like he will be doing that, but I think that's a move off to the side, not able to hit the rockets to stop him from doing this.
All right, Alliance in this round now themselves. They gathered a little bit of percent earlier, but otherwise Myztro have been very dominant for the time being. And we've still got a long time until that power-up spawns. So by the time it spawns, I think Alliance will probably be on the best part of 60%.
Strength's using that Ghost Rock to get aggressive, trying to catch them out. Still has been taken. Garpy leading the charge of his team.
This is what it's all about. He's got that shield defending his entire team there. And he's going to be able to get across. No, he's going to go down. Syndrome's back, but he's going to die as well. He just throws the soul away just before he dies.
I think it was taken, though. Yeah, Hell has been able to secure it, used the plasma trail to get a little bit extra distance, but he's juggled in the air.
He should have thrown that soul, I believe. That could be a small error. Just get it near the base. Now Bus Driver, he chucks it away, and look at the aerial battles we've got at the moment. We've got Space Simulator as well.
I never knew
what a rail Garpy.
I never knew they could grow wings.
Boom, he's just taking it.
Today.
Huge. He's trying to get some extra speed, but that's Sparty with the shotgun work. Syndrome as well. He's returning. Now Bus Driver with 77 health. He could take a rail, but he will return the soul to point.
Still so bloody between these two teams. Just non-stop action. Vu gets a great shot on a Bus Driver before he does get killed off by Syndrome. Myztro just looking to somehow attack this point back. It's still relatively close on percent, 55 to 28. I mean, yeah, it's about 30% difference, but that's still ridiculously close to how much percent you can stack up. Strengths again gets a telefrag kill onto Hell, but this time, finally, protection does spawn in, and Garpy on the clutch has it. This is going to be tough for Alliance to hold.
And he's got the rockets as well. We're going to see Clutch go absolutely mental now. He's on the point, dishing out the damage. He's not, but look at him. He's taking a huge amount of damage, actually. This is insane. Hypno's got it. but that was unbelievable focus fire from Alliance. I was expecting guaranteed success from Myztro.
I think Myztro might have rushed that a little bit. He was kind of off by himself, affiliate immortal, as they proved to him, you're not going to be immortal here, and that there's just 3 people attacking the entire time. There's no one picking off those targets on his own team. They lose control, they lost the protection, and they lost the soul, most importantly. 51% now for Alliance. They've been able to tie things up. It's 1-1 in the series, 1-1 in rounds here on Runes of Sarnath.
Oh, this was big actually from Vu. He's just managed to get the Mega, but he's going to find a lot of people coming his way, doing some damage to the Nyx. He's going to fall down below. Do not want to focus too much on the frags at the moment. He needs to find a way into the base, and right now he's trying to coordinate that with his teams. He's so worried that someone's going to come up behind him. Huge frag. He's got to move now.
There's one behind him. He's going to miss that rail, tosses it onto the point immediately. I'm not sure, Bus Driver, why did you turn around and look for the soul? He turns around for the split second, allowing for to secure the kill onto him. Keep your eyes on the target, son, not on the ball. Not on the soul this time.
Myztro are just holding on to the lead at the moment. We've got 40 seconds until the power-up is back. They are going to try and milk this for as much as possible to get to that 100%.
70%, and there's still 2 people left. It's a Nyx, it's an Anarchy. And now finally Garp is able to come back in, and they do get the kills. Vu coming up huge with the rocket launcher when they do need it. 77% to 52. Myztro are getting ever so close to advancing through into this bracket and the winner bracket side of this and knocking Alliance down. Maybe an unexpected result for some.
These are moments like this that you become a professional gamer, because this is the tension that they're looking for, that they want to play with. And they've managed to secure that soul now for Alliance. 14% remaining for Myztro, and we've got a battle on the protection. I believe that's just been taken now with Alliance in favor of it. Sparty has it, but he's weak. Alliance with the soul.
Alliance able to return it too, most importantly, and Sparty's he's getting focused down quite a bit. He's trying to get some healing through, does blow off Dire Orb off. Does get the kill on the Garp, but the soul's finally going to be dropped though. Bus Driver looking for the return. He's going to do just that, 57% and counting now. And I don't think Myztro have the people here necessarily to go for this fight. They need to wait for a respawn back through, but Vu ties things up in terms of med.
If we had Hypno in mid who had the soul, he should have immediately thrown it back to sort of general direction of his base. Vu, now he is someone you'd expect to be calm under pressure with his level of experience. He is indeed hitting some very important shots. Now, Clutch, look at that. Was there some focus fire at the same time? All right, Clutch has got very, very fast movement, but they are looking to hunt him down. Teammates beside him working in unison. Looking, where do I go, guys? Tell me. Give me the information.
Not passing off to Vu to run it back in. He's trying to do himself. He's able to get on there, but will they have the kills off the back of that? No, Alliance pick up 3, and that soul will be turned around.
Team wipe.
90 to 70. Myztro, I mean, it was a decent attack. I still don't know why they just didn't wait a little bit longer. Maybe try to pick up those frags before returning.
Yeah, as soon as they got the soul back, their entire team just exploded. Hell, he does get the soul for a fraction of a second. And now Clutch is back on there with Sorlag, trying to do some work. He throws it away a little bit, but his strengths will return. Return the soul to base at least. Hypno, what's he going to be able to do with it?
Vu coming up big with that kill on his strength.
Oh, Syndrome. Got it.
He's holding under it, and I do not believe they know where he is.
No way.
He's waiting for his teammates. Maybe pick up these kills. They have 18 seconds on the power up, most importantly.
And now this is actually big because information is so important. They're going to see that happen, and now they've got to come in for the frags. Hypno trying to bite very quickly, but this might punish him as he needs his teammates to be around him. They're going for the power-up.
They have the time to do it. They definitely have the time, and they have protection, and they have it over to Garpy, most importantly. So this is going to be a second chance for Myztro to go on.
They got the soul as well.
They stole it away during this, so they had a disadvantage on the power-up. They still secure it. They also get the soul on top of it. 93% clutch. Played by Garpy. If he can hold on to this one, he's going to be very tanky, very hard to do it. They get the kills, 97. We're going to see this hit into contention.
Oh my God.
They have to touch this point. Is anyone even close to it?
He's
no,
done it.
they've done it. Myztro have upset Alliance, and have picked up the victory.
Sorry, I couldn't breathe at the end there. That was.
I see you shaking there. That was, I mean, considering Myztro had some bad luck yesterday in terms of the players of Garpy, of Vu, not qualifying for duel, to pick up this victory here has to give them so much confidence back. And look at that Hypno, 65 kills and 43 deaths.
What is that about? Garpy, you could see his role of clutch. I mean, that's amazing. What I want to say right there, what Garpy did, getting the lowest frags on the server, is the best thing that could possibly happen to Myztro. That might sound wrong, but
No,
he
not at all.
played the objective exactly like he has to. And Zacubus, I know that he's the sort of player manager on the team. He's going to sit back with a sigh of relief and go like, Garpy, you're an absolute god for performing like that. So That'll be a delight. Guys are going to be shaking hands as well. A really, really tense series for them just there. But happy days for Myztro Gaming. I've got to say that last moment where they calculate, okay, there's about 85% on the Alliance Obelisk, but the power-up is coming up in about 5 to 10 seconds. This is our chance to get on it, and if it's a protection or quad, we can make a huge play here and secure the game. And winning that power-up, it was all about that. And I think that Alliance maybe just lost sight of it. Not all of them did at all, but as a unit, they did a tiny bit. And that's possibly what cost them those last moments of the game.
Before we do head to the desk, I want to ask you one last question. Do you think if that was a quad instead of protection, would it have still ended the same way?
They would have had to attack differently, is the thing. And the fact is that Garpy didn't have the massive stack we saw him have earlier with the protection. They would have had to manage who picked it up a little differently. So it's very possible, but at the end of the day, it comes down to how are Myztro hitting the shots then, rather than how are Alliance hitting the shots. All
right, well, thank you again. Congrats once more to Myztro to pick up that victory. In the meantime, let's head to the desk and see what they had to say about that last match.
The memes of the future are here. My word. Garpy going clutch with clutch at the end. Gents, exactly when it mattered most. The boy pulled through, and what an epic